Hello everyone. This is an unannounced stream. I'm just sitting here looking through all of my drawings because I'm going to be moving house, and I thought this drawing from yesterday, I did a 2-hour live stream yesterday where we did a bunch of 10-minute portraits, and this drawing of Gentil I felt was really cool, but doesn't look like Gentil like the photo, but there's a really cool shape, really cool potential here. And I remember as I was drawing it, and I was like, I feel like I'd like to keep working on this. And rather than sorting through all my stuff, getting ready to move house, looking through all of my work, which will be available for sale, the moving house sale, which I'm hosting, I thought I'll do some more drawing on this drawing. So that's what I'm here. That's to do. And so this was a 10-minute portrait. I did a series of 10-minute portraits on a live stream yesterday from the incredible street photography of Dino Serral. And it was really fun. It was the first live stream in a while. And I often do these live streams, or have often in the past done these live streams where we do a series of 10-minute portraits. And I think we did 7 yesterday, and it was lots of fun. I had people hanging out in my Zoom room with me, and we had a fun conversation and did lots of drawings. And I just thought I'll keep going with this one, because yesterday I had this kind of impulse that I'd like to just keep going, but I stuck to the 10-minute rhythm. And it was interesting to notice that I feel like that I've strayed from the likeness in my drawing, and I wonder with a bit more time. I'm not sure how much time yet. I'm not committing to anything. I just thought I'd just keep drawing and see what happens, because it's interesting. And I talked about this idea of having, with a quick timed sketch, to have a seed of something which may end up being a longer piece. And just by starting really loosely and kind of without feeling like committing to anything kind of grand or important, that sometimes unexpected things can happen in a short space of time. And that's something that I really enjoy in the timed portrait sketching practice. Hello to my one viewer. I just see you popping in. I don't know who you are. It'd be nice if you say hello in the chat, because this is another unplanned live stream. I just thought I was, Louisa, good Lord. You were about to go to bed. Yeah, that would have been a good thing to do. But now you're here. This will be another not very long one. It's nice that rather than going to bed, you've tuned in to see what I'm doing. I thought I'd spend a bit more time with this drawing. And why not? I was going to start listening to an audiobook or a podcast, which is something I like to do while drawing. And I was like, what if I just do another live stream? And that was an idea that I was thinking maybe it would be when I did the 10-minute portrait challenge, and I in advance committed to doing a live stream every day. It was awesome and I loved it. But it was preparation and research, and I was doing all this stuff, and now this was just like totally unplanned and spontaneous, and that is kind of something I can do too. So I wonder if just not committing to anything and just doing it, if that will maybe be something which could be conducive to more live streams, just doing spontaneous live streams. How are you, Louisa? It was very nice hanging out with you yesterday. How are the pigeons? I went to see the premiere of a kids' theatre production, not performed by kids, but made for kids. I did the stage design, and I was able to take one of my kids and two of his friends today. We went to the theatre to see the Drei Fragezeichen, das Circus der Rätsel, the Circus of Riddles, and that was fun today. So yeah, I came upstairs to continue sorting through my stuff because we're moving, and there's this kind of restlessness and like, oh, there's so many things to do. Maybe I'm procrastinating by doing this live stream, but I also felt like it would be nice to take one of these 10-minute drawings from yesterday and see what happens if I spend another 10-20 minutes on it. Why not do that here with you? The pigeons are supposed to be in bed. Yeah, last night was super fun. It was really nice to be hanging out again, drawing together again, chatting. It's something I missed a lot. And I think I was talking about it a bit yesterday, like about making time to do things. Because I realized that with all the live streaming and a lot of like my Zoom sessions and live streaming and hangout in Zoom parallel to the live streams and the whole community aspect of drawing together was I feel like a really important part of my social life, which I just kind of put on hold for a while. Because otherwise it's mostly it's my kids, and as wonderful as they are, it's very different. Kind of being there, tending to their needs, and interacting with them on a very different level than just hanging out and doing what I want to do with people who like doing what I like doing. So it was nice to do some more of it and reconnect. Also meet some new people as well. That was nice. Just pack it in all the boxes, and that's what you unpack. Yeah, I like the idea of purging things, because I also thought today, worst comes to worst, it can all go in a box or several boxes, and it just gets unpacked at the new place. But I thought it'd be nice to thin out things that are not necessary, and offer things for sale as well, which is something I've wanted to do for the longest time. I think that would, if I was able to sell more of my work, I guess, then maybe, well, definitely that would make certain things easier. And it's just something I would like to do, but I haven't been confident or comfortable enough to kind of like find a way to offer things. Like occasionally I'll sell something, but it hasn't been regular. But I would love it to be a bigger part of my income puzzle. So I thought by sorting through stuff which I feel like is really cool and that people would maybe like to have, getting rid of things that really have no special significance and aren't that good or interesting. And sometimes I just find like stacks of blank paper in between the drawings. I'm like, oh, I could draw on that paper. Just having some kind of system to things before settling into a new space and being like, oh, what is all this stuff that I have? Like, it would kind of be nice to sort through some of that stuff already. Oh, it does take so much time, right? The purging. Yeah, it takes time. But then if I'm here and I just spend I spent like 10 minutes almost drawing this hair. Now there are 3 people. Hello other people. Louise is here with me in the chat. If you feel like it, say who you are and just say hello. You don't have to say who you are. It'll come up, a little profile picture. But yeah, this is from the 10-minute portrait live stream series I did yesterday. A drawing of Gentil and by a photo from Dino Serrao. And I felt like yesterday I would like to spend more time on it. So now I'm spending more time on it. And here I am, live streaming again. I'm babysitting a dog at the moment. And she doesn't want to sleep here. She's a neighbour's dog. And she came over for a while today. But I'm not sure how old she is. She's advanced in her years, and she's very lovely. She's a greyhound, and she just come up and put her head on me sometimes. And but after a while of being here, she's just kind of like wants to go home. So she was here for a while this afternoon, and then I went over just after 8 p.m. It's almost 11 now. Just gave her some food and took her for a little walk, and she just super cozy on her couch, home alone. It's interesting developing relationships with non-humans. Poor puppy. Yeah, but she seems content. And it's just 2 nights that I'm responsible for her. So what is the relationship? So my friend has a 1-year-old, and this dog, I kind of think, is that her older sister? The dog is the older sister of the 1-year-old, or is it like an auntie, a close friend? I wonder what their relationship with each other is. This tiny little person and this dog who has been around for over a decade, for sure. She likes spending time on the couch and snoozing. So I wonder what is it like for her just to have the house to herself for a while, to have some peace and quiet. She's happy to see us when we spend time with her. So, but she's also happy just to rest. FX Node, hello. It's been a while. You bought 5 reams of copy paper and a clipboard with the idea of no more excuses for not drawing. Awesome. Sketchbooks are a bit too much pressure. That can be the case. Yeah, if you just got like some copy paper and just like crank out some sketches, and some will be keepers and some will go into the recycling or whatever. I've been wondering, because I've been looking through my kids' drawings as well, and sometimes like some of the stuff it's really interesting to see like their developmental phases, but also we can't keep everything. But I was also wondering kind of like, I wonder if some of the stuff, it'd be cool to do something with it. And I wonder, it's inspired a creative surge in my kids, looking through their older work, my 5 and 8-year-old, and since we've been looking through it, they've been drawing a lot more. That's cool. Yeah, and a lot of that is just on copy paper, printer paper, or I have these like super easy budget sketchbooks that are from the supermarket. Or people have given us old notepads and stuff, and sometimes Arvid, he just like churns through it's really interesting. He's had these in the past. He's had these phases where he has a sketchbook, and he like does this drawing, and it's done, and then he moves to the next page, next drawing, next page, next drawing, and he was doing that a couple mornings ago, and I came out in the morning, and this morning actually, and he had just done a bunch of drawings, and it's cool because he just does it, and there's no hesitation, no attachment. It's just like flowing through him. That's very inspiring to watch. But yeah, I was thinking about that maybe I would get back into my sketchbook practice this month, which hasn't happened very much so far. But I have this like half full sketchbook, which would be nice to finish. Because I feel like a lot of really interesting experimentation and exploration happened in some of my sketchbooks, and that would be nice to kind of rekindle some of that play and experimentation, and but yeah, sometimes it's cool just to sketch on scraps of paper that my kids have cut things out of, and like it has no kind of sense of responsibility. No pressure, because it's already just a fleeting thing. Yeah, dogs are pack animals, so you're all part of the pack as long as someone brings their food. Yeah. Film through their stuff as a flip through. Maybe. I've taken photos of a bunch of things. There's a bit much space between the eye and the nose. I think that's maybe one of the main things, which is like the whole eye area. I think the shape of the face is fairly close, but the whole eyes are just like a bit too high. That's what's going on with the likeness. And though it is nice to get the likeness, I remember so often having drawings where I feel like, oh, so much is working. There's a lot which is cool about it. It doesn't look like that person, but somehow it has its own character and its own life, and it's interesting just to keep going with it, even though it's a bit one of these pieces which is inspired by the likeness, so we could say that way. You could either say inaccurately drawn or inspired by the reference. But it was good. I was wondering the whole time, I'm feeling like it's a bit off, what is it? And just seeing like, oh, it's just the location of the eyes that makes such a difference. So there's so much textured lines in here, which I really like, but I want to smooth out a lot of the texture, because just by eliminating a lot of the white in the paper, we can build up more texture on top of it if we want to. But it's just have like this nice block of shaded value floating in the middle of the page. I think that's part of what I like about this drawing. now we're at the 20 minutes mark. This is pretty cool. I would just like to notice here that I just left the contrast. I think some of the, not everything, like I don't want to go in super heavy in the hair. Like there's a softness to it which I like, but some areas where a bit more contrast could be nice. It's a question of like how much, because it's all just working with this one pencil, like how much do I really want to build up the value, how dark do I want to go, and there's like, I think there's amazing range you can get just from using one pencil. And it's interesting with this because the darkest that I can go with the red is quite bright compared to the original reference. But yeah, if I just have a few areas where I feel like the contrast is like focus on getting a nice range of contrast, just not all the way through the hair. I think I'll add some more like scratchiness into the hair as well, because I like those kind of marks. You still hear FX node? I wonder what stuff you're sketching on your copy paper. Yes, Arvid is rocking the sketchbook month challenge. Maybe I could just yeah, while I've got other things to work on, I could just encourage him to keep filling his sketchbook. Also something about the eye that looks like it's this one looking in a different direction than in the reference. So yeah, it's interesting process here, just taking something which was originally intended just to be a 10-minute sketch and then picking up on things and like carrying on from that, the initial energy and brevity of the 10-minute portrait, but being like, oh, what are the things I could focus on, which could just take it to like build upon that brief sketching and hopefully take it somewhere interesting. Yeah, one tool. So you do a lot of digital sketching, then doing a bunch of sketches on paper would be really great, I think. A biro week, yeah. It's cool to use just these ubiquitous drawing tools as well, stuff that's just everywhere, like biro, graphite pencil. I like these free pens, which are like advertising that you get. I don't know, at various places. The Mechanic had these branded biros, like just to take something like that. And just see with copy paper and a free pen what you can conjure up. I was talking to my dad about these 4-color pens and some incredible work that people will do with that, just with like just the 4 colors and fairly limited color range, but it's really amazing what some people are able to do with that. So yeah, just working with one color like this, there's already there's a lot of subtlety which can be kind of built up just with this one tool, just like looking at it in terms of value, form and value, and not so much about color variation. And then if you just, like with this 4-color pen, if you just multiply that same kind of basic thing, or you start adding a second color, maybe that could be really interesting, and then a third, or just stick to the 1 color, whatever you feel like. But keeping it basic, I think that can be really practicing in that kind of limitation can be super insightful, like what you can do with that, and just getting to know a particular simple tool really well and seeing how you can build upon it. Thank you, Louisa. Yeah, it'll be interesting after this. All right, so I'm like at 27 minutes now. I think I'll stop at half an hour. And then it'll be interesting to see the difference between the 10-minute drawing and the 40-minute drawing. And then I took a photo of it yesterday, so I will airdrop it onto my computer, and then when I'm done, we can look at it together, the 10-minute version alongside the 40-minute version, and you can tell me if it was worth it. Because a couple of days ago I was like, sometimes you just keep working on it, and it's like the additional time, it's like, oh, is this any better than it was when it was just 10 minutes? But I feel like this is definitely this drawing has matured from its initial 10-minute incarnation. I just heard we have this clock that has for every hour, so long as the light is on, daylight or our evening lighting, on every hour we hear bird song, and I just heard the 11 o'clock birds singing. I was like, oh, it's already 11 o'clock. If I wrap this up in 1 minute, then maybe I can still sort through some of my sketches, which I had initially intended to do, which I did a bit before I started this live stream. And now there are 6 of you watching. Hello, thank you for tuning in. Who are you? Who's watching? Anyone I know? I just spontaneously decided to pick up on this 10-minute portrait, which I started in a live stream yesterday, which at the 10-minute mark I was like, oh, I would like to spend more time on this. And so just now I have spent a further 30 minutes on it. You like the cross-hatching, thank you. Yeah, it's interesting to kind of see how to apply different kind of shading and hatching techniques. I love the blending stump, just to like push some value around. I will, so that's about it. I will put the photo I did from yesterday's 10-minute version. I'm going to put it up alongside this one. So I had a little, oh yes, that's so different. Had a little insight about how the eyes are actually a bit high, and that's why it looks like a different person from the reference photo. And oh yeah, wow, this has turned into a totally different drawing. But built on the foundations of that kind of, yeah, really expressive, quick kind of beginning. So I'll just put this over on my computer and you'll be able to see what happened, how 10 minutes went to 40 minutes and what I was able to do in that time. Oh, does this format, oh, I can't just drag and drop it. I need to export it, turn it into a JPEG, and then I'll be able to put it in. It won't take too long. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me and watching this little unplanned drawing session. So here we go. Bam, too big. But this is where I was after 10 minutes. And I liked it and thought there's like potential. And how did I do? Ha ha ha, I'll start another spontaneous live stream. Yeah, interesting. Seeing those two versions alongside each other. The color's a bit off on both of them actually, but it has a vibrant red, kind of like, what is it called? Deep Scarlet Red is the name of this Faber-Castell polychromos pencil. Yeah, and that's how it looks. Clarice K tuned in. Thank you for joining, Vanessa. Yeah, that was fun. That was worth it, I think. Like sometimes there's something in the initial, that first impulse, that first sketch, that there's this kind of life and potential to it. And as we continue with the sketch, we can kind of tease out some of that potential, but it starts becoming more of a thing. And so sometimes I feel like the really brief sketches have this life to it that as you start locking in and making decisions, then that potential, there could be something elusive and beautiful in there, which as you start kind of locking in, it's like, oh, where did all that potential go? But I feel like this is an interesting, this feels good. Like it's still really sketchy. There's still potential, like it's not totally refined. But I think some of the form, like because of the putting the eyes in a bit too high, I can't draw that back to get the likeness right. And just these distances, like nose to mouth, lips to chin, eye to nose, those distances, when they're just like a fraction off, it will just look like a new person sometimes. So these are super subtle shifts in those proportions can just really make or break a likeness. But even if the likeness is off, it can still be a nice drawing. So do not despair if it doesn't look like the person in the reference photo. It can still be, a valid exploration and maybe even a really cool drawing by the end of things. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this impromptu live stream. And thank you once again to Dino Sarao, who took this photo of Gentil. And have a look through Dino's Instagram feed. Maybe you'll find the original video. And if you've been drawing along, thank you. And if you would like to watch all of the other 10-minute portraits that we did yesterday, because we did 7 of them, and I just chose this one to spend a bit more time on, then you can have a look on my YouTube channel for yesterday's live stream and draw along with that. So thank you for being here. And until next time, who knows when my next impromptu live stream will be. Thank you everyone and take care.